if you'd like to. Okay, perfect. So welcome to the North Star Black Cooperative Fellowship Information Session for Cohort 10. We're so excited to have you here. A little bit about Nexus. Nexus Community Partners, we are a Black-led organization located in Minneapolis. We were in St. Paul, so for a long time I was saying St. Paul, but we just moved to Minneapolis in the Northeast. But we were founded in 2004, and our work is to co-create more liberated communities by strengthening leaders, cultivating community wealth, and stewarding the just distribution of resources. Our work really lies in four ships: authorship, ownership, and leadership. Our ownership work will be talked about here for North Star. We have the Open Road Fund, the Shared Ownership Center at Nexus, and the Boards and Commissions Leadership Institute, which all serve different purposes, but they all work together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. So, before we get started, my name is Liana. I'm program manager for the North Star Black Cooperative Fellowship. We're excited you're here. Before we get into the content for today, wanting to just give ourselves a few minutes for a grounding. In North Star sessions, we always begin with a check in, a grounding, just to make sure that we are checking in with ourselves and each other and having that time before we dive into the content. So we invite you. This is going to be a sacred pause. It's a consent based practice, so feel free to participate or not. It's your choice. And this is coming from the Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective Beam, who uses this language around sacred pause. So today I wanted to pull from a card from A Harvest of Survival, an affirmation deck inspired by Octavia E. Butler. And the card that I've pulled today, I'll read below. All that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. Octavia E. Butler from Parable of the Sower. And the question it offers is, what is a change you are embracing this season? Again, what is a change you are embracing this season? And we can just take the next 2 minutes to just reflect individually. And if folks do want to share in the chat or come off mute after that, we can do so. So let's take the next 2 minutes, so until about 14 after, to reflect on that question. What is a change you are embracing this season? Let's take another minute to reflect on that question. What is a change you are embracing this season? right. Um, Feel free to come back. I some see a message from Linnea. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Hello, I'm Linnea joining today from North Minneapolis. I'm working to embrace my age as I have crested 50 and looking for what is next for me. Thank you, Linnea. And from Queen Tasha or Tasha, she, her from Florida, but joining from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The change I'm inviting is finding my tribe and finding clarity in my business. Thank you. Would anyone like to come maybe off mute and share something? And we can make space for that.
I am Sha. I am embracing my transitioning to eldership.
Thank you.
I'll hop in. Greetings, everyone.
Oh, not hearing you well. It sounds like your volume might be a little low. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
It's still low. I'm not sure.
I'll type it in the chat.
Okay. Thank you for so much. All right.
Um, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to say that I'm embracing transformation. Um, and that's just throughout with finding community, embracing myself into developing more of being outward in a form of love.
Thank you for sharing. All right. We will continue forward and continue to feel free to add those thoughts, reflections in the chat. But we're going to move along. Okay, I see from Josephine. I'll read this. Hi, I'm Josephine, she, her, and embracing going with the flow and letting things happen more organically. Thank you. All right, we're going to continue on. Thank you, everyone, for those reflections. Oh, Mercy. Thank you, Mercy. My name is Mercy. I'm embracing transition as well. I'm taking rest in the Selah Ven that I'm creating for myself. I don't think I've heard that phrase before. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Thank you, everyone, for embracing that practice with. All right. We're going to continue on sharing the Pomoja, which this glyph was created by Duaba Unanra, a North Star Cohort 3 alumnus. Pamoja means together in Kiswahili. And we, at the beginning of the fellowship, will gift notebooks to the fellows that has this glyph and this proverb, and it really captures the spirit of cooperation. So wanted to share that here today, that we are each other's harvest, we are each other's business, we are each other's magnitude and bond, from Gwendolyn Brooks, her poem Paul Robeson. So wanted to share that. All right, pass it to you, Nikuli.
Yeah. Oh, I think there was a definition. There's more defining from Mercy. I don't know if you want to like talk about that too. From the
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So for Mercy, a sacred personal space or season where someone pauses from life, demands to heal, pray, reflect, and regain strength before moving forward. Yes. And am I saying it correctly? Say Levin? I feel like I'm not. Do you mind coming off mute maybe and sharing how to pronounce that?
If my audio is working,
Okay, yeah.
oh great, okay. The word is C11,
See Lavin. Okay.
and so it's just kind of creating a space for you to heal before going back out into whatever it is that you do. And for me, it's very important right now because the aspirations and the things that I want to help bring to fruition as part of the collective is going to take a lot of strength, a lot of fortitude, a lot of ambition, a lot of audacity. And in order for me to do that, I feel like this sacred space has been a little bit more personal. So that is the season that I'm in, and also understanding what that transition looks like as well.
Thank you for sharing that added context and sharing a bit more. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for sharing, and please feel free to continue. I also feel like this sort of gives you a glimpse of what our North Star sessions are like, which is very exciting. This early on, this is how we always start our sessions, a time for reflection, a card is read, and yeah, just a space to ground. But the North Star Black Cooperative Fellowship was established in 2017. We are in process of celebrating our 10th year. So it's a very exciting place to be, and we're very excited for this coming cohort. So my name is Nonkululego Tabata, or Nakuli is okay as well. I'm the Community Wealth Building Director at Nexus. I've been here for 9 years this summer, and I've been with North Star since cohort 3. Um, and I'll pass it to Liana.
Hi everyone, Liana Brown, she, her. I'm the program manager for the North Star Black Cooperative Fellowship, coming up on 4 years this August. And yeah, I've been with the program since cohort 6, so very excited to be with you all today. Just want to share a little bit about these pictures just to give some context. On the left, we had the opportunity to go to Ghana and do a cooperative trip with the organization called Prepared Nations, as well as the BB Kwantu. And that was taken at KASI, the Kweku Ondo Sustainability Institute, which is a research and education training space, regrounding folks in indigenous African practices. And then on the right, we are standing with a picture of Harriet Tubman, and that was at Asin Manso, which is kind of a sacred site where enslaved Africans in Ghana who were took their last bath at that space before being taken. So very, yeah, important sacred space, and we also got to experience that during our time in Ghana. So just wanted to share that. So what is the North Star Black Cooperative Fellowship? So the North Star Black Cooperative Fellowship is a 7-month fellowship focused on Black American cooperative economics and the history of Black cooperative economic thought and practice. We center the wisdom and experience of those who share the ancestry of enslaved Africans in the U.S. and the Americas, and place value on the legacy of Black cooperative economics and collective care. North Star is a place for Black-led cooperatives, collectives, housing, commercial, and land trusts. So on the left is a image of W.E.B. Du Bois, who we'll talk a little bit about in a second here. But yeah, North Star really is a co-learning space, a space for folks from different stages in their cooperative work to really come together and for us to learn about Black cooperative economics, to really reclaim our connections to Black cooperative history, and to come together and have this dynamic space with speakers, facilitators, and other folks as well.
As I mentioned, North Star was established about, now 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. And it really started with this book, Collective Courage, which is also like a basis and staple of our fellowship, and another gift that we give to our fellows. Essentially, this book by Dr. Jessica Gordon Nemhart, where she talks about the history of African American cooperative economics and practice in the US. It's really an anthology that documents the cooperative history going from like the Underground Railroad, mutual aid societies, and how those were all forms of cooperation. And I think before that, the only other text that really existed was economic cooperation amongst Negro Americans, the only recorded text that existed because there were lots of other oral stories that were told. But was this by W.E.B. Du Bois, who was also a pioneer in cooperative economics and lived at a housing co-op in the 1920s in New York. And so really North Star is about reclaiming this history. It started as a book club 10 years ago and has evolved into this fellowship 10 years later, really thinking about like what the cooperative ecosystem looks like for Black folks in the US, but also across the diaspora. In the book, just wanted to note this because I think this is really important, but she talks about how African Americans have a long, rich history of cooperative ownership, especially in the reaction to market failure and economic racial discrimination. However, it has often been a hidden history, or one that is obstructed by white supremacist violence. When there is a narrative, the history is told as one of failure. The challenges have been tremendous and often have been seen as insurmountable. The successes are often anecdotal and isolated, little understood, and even less documented. And so this is why we're here at North Star. She's helped document a lot of these cooperative businesses and to continue that legacy and hopes to continue documenting even more cooperative businesses that are started in North Star and outside of North Star as this Black cooperative ecosystem continues to grow.
Muted. Thank you, Nikuli. So as Nikuli mentioned, North Star began as a book club. North Star was co-founded by Danielle Mkali, our current Vice President of Programs and Strategy, as well as LaDonna Sanders Redmond, who is a big pillar in our community around cooperative work. She's also a DEI trainer and an activist as well. So Nexus held space for Dr. Jessica Gordon Empard to come to Minneapolis to talk about her book and the research conducted. And Danielle, in those early years, helped create a curriculum in partnership with Toolbox for Education and Social Action, TESSA. So we recognize that North Star being founded by two Black women and also the importance of Black feminisms and how we approach this work as well is something that we're honored to carry and continue that tradition forward. All right, so an overview of our North Star cohorts thus far. So we have had 9 cohorts, 166 members and alumni, which include Black and people of African descent, majority women identified, a few male and gender non-binary folks, as well as a few LGBTQIA identified folks. And we are supporting Black-led cooperatives, which can include worker-owned, housing, artist, investment, credit union, and land trusts. Some of the co-ops that have come through North Star include Yo Mama's House Co-op by Ia Make Kubat, Northside Investment Cooperative Enterprise, Nice MN, Black Broadband Coalition, and some others. And I believe that image is of Cohort 2. Yes. All right.
Oh, so what is North Star? What are you all maybe signing up for as you are here? This really talks a little bit about the North Star curriculum and what you can expect in the 7 months that you will spend with us. So as mentioned, North Star is essentially a co-learning space. It is hands-on. We use popular education and we draw on culturally significant traditions and practices of art making and sacred space. While Liana and I hold down this space, it's just the two of us, so we know as much as we know. We know that the folks in North Star bring all their wisdom and knowledge and experience into the space to make it what it is. And then on top of that, the speakers come in and really create this dynamic space. But the North Star curriculum follows this sort of arc where we start with storytelling and place setting. We talk about Black cooperative history. We talk about Black feminisms. We talk about rethinking capitalism and the solidarity economy movement. And then by January, we move into more of the technical space where we have the Black Cooperative Tour, which has been virtual. Excuse me, we talk about feasibility and what that looks like, a business plan, and what that looks like. We dive into what funding for this cooperative work looks like, and talk about some resources that may exist in Nexus or in other spaces. And then we really lean into like what it looks like to go into these entities where we have to try to make decisions together and some of those best practices. We dive into what it looks like to be more engaging in the process as you're creating these cooperative entities with community advisory or whomever you are cooperating with. We dive into governance and bylaws. Excuse me. And then towards the end, we talk about transformative justice with a little bit of conflict resolution. And the whole goal of this is to then finally get towards the end where you are all creating your final presentations, which would have been a culmination of the work from the time we begin the cohort to the time we end, and creating a final presentation that works best for you and whatever you're exploring. So if at the time of the fellowship you're exploring funding, helping create a presentation about it to a funder, or if you're looking for more folks to join, creating a presentation for that, you really sort of self-steward that process. And so that's how we end the fellowship. And that's how we also get to know more about the different cooperative businesses that exist in the cohort and make those connections as well.
I just wanted to mention the photo of Kyrgyzstan. Yeah, so Kyrgyzstan was a black social club in St. Paul in the Rondo community, historic black neighborhood. And they also had a credit union, a grocery store, but they were also really monumental in helping to desegregate hotels. They would throw rent parties. So just another example of Black cooperative history in St. Paul and the Twin Cities in Minnesota. So.
Thank you, Leona. And so as mentioned, North Star really does lean in on the wisdom of community educators and technical assistance providers to add depth to the curriculum. We mentioned LaDonna as one of the co-founders of North Star, who's often come back. We often have our North Star alum come back in some capacity. So we've had Ia Amoke Kubat come back in different capacities as she's launched Your Mama's House, which is pictured on the right, which is a space for mothers to come and be. There's art space, etc. She's also like an environmental organizer. She's an artist. She does a lot. She's amazing. Omar Freya from Collective Diaspora, which is essentially a network of Black cooperatives across North America, South America, the Caribbean, and the African continent, has been part of this process. Gary Hampton, who is an incredible technical assistance provider, but also an incredible cooperator, Dr. Rose Brewer. And so we really do, while we might hold the space, we really lean on external speakers who are connected to North Star in varying ways to help lead us through these different parts of the process. And as you are going through this and getting to meet these folks, you're also able to connect with them if there's parts of your project that you like more thinking through or assistance with. So they become an incredible resource to the fellowship as well.
All right. So for 2026, 2027, we are open to all types of cooperatives, collectives, and land trusts. And just to get us grounded in some of that shared language, so collectives are entities that are jointly organized and operated by a group, such as an art collective, dance collective, or farm collective. Cooperatives, people-centered, entity-owned, controlled, and run by and for their members to realize their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations. Examples include worker co-op, artist co-op, housing co-op, grocery store co-op, etc. And then land trusts. Land trusts are organizations that work toward conserving land for the public benefit by protecting natural and cultural resources and providing public access. Land trusts achieve this objective by acquiring land, preserving it in its natural state, and managing it in perpetuity. So that could include residential or commercial land trusts.
And then for housing cooperatives are formed when people join on a democratic basis to own or control the housing or community facility where they live. And finally, investment co-ops. Investment cooperatives are a space that allows residents to invest financially and collectively buy, rehabilitate, or manage commercial or residential property. And in the chat, can you share the difference between residential and commercial land trusts? For residential, so it's a housing land trust. Essentially, it means that the house that you have, the land may be owned by a land trust, which normally it's a nonprofit entity that holds that land in perpetuity, and the person owns the house. It becomes a way to make the home ownership more affordable. Because the house might not cost as much as like what a market rate house would cost. And it's a way to build wealth. And then people sort of move out, get some investment from it, not fully because the land is owned by a nonprofit, but are able to then move on to maybe buy market rate if they choose. For commercial land trust, the commercial land trust, it's an entity that is also owned through a nonprofit process where the land is owned through a nonprofit profit process, but the commercial spaces are land trust, so they may be more affordable to rent or buy or purchase, however the the trust wants to sort of establish that. So one is just residential, so maybe more so individual or housing based, and then one is business based. I hope that makes sense. And I know I see a few people here that I know, like Miss Janie, who's an investment. So there are also some folks in here that do this work and have been doing this work more often. So if you have more insight, please feel free to add it in the chat as well. Um, yeah.
All right, thank you. So, Black Study Sessions. So, Black Study Sessions are the spaces for North Stars and community broadly who aren't in the fellowship to kind of further explore and connect to different cooperative topics. So, these are held about twice a year, and it's a space to, yeah, dive deeper, to have some guests, and also to be around other folks who are maybe not in the fellowship to also engage in this Black cooperative work together. So, some past topics have included Black creativity and collective care, Kwanzaa and cooperation, Black cooperatives and Black wealth, Black cooperative matriarchs, and self care and community care. Those are some images of some past flyers, but yeah, Black Study Sessions are really a space open to community. All are welcome, but it's Black centered, Black centered, centering the experiences, lived experiences of Black folks in that space, but open to all, free and open to all. And those are typically online on Zoom. So, yeah, wanted to share about that as well as an additional part of the fellowship.
Um, And then around cohort 3, we were sort of learning that even past like 7 months of this fellowship, it was still really difficult to gain access to capital to help fund the work and move the work forward. I think, you know, a lot can be said about like the capital world, the fundraising world, etc., where oftentimes they don't really see or recognize the Black brilliance that comes out of these projects, and it takes a little bit of time for them to really catch up with where maybe our imaginations and the work that we're doing is heading to. So in 2019, as part of the program, we developed an alumni fund to continue to help support the cohort alumni as they develop their cooperative enterprises through a technical assistance fund. So the alumni fund is budget-based, but it supports administrative support for the cooperative members, cooperative formations, any leadership development, workshop trainings, any fundraising goals co-ops might have, governance and bylaws development, marketing and communications, etc. So essentially, alumni of the program, whether they graduate this year or they've graduated 9 years ago or 8 years ago, have access to this fund. And they could use it to further develop their cooperative or even hire other technical assistance providers to help them develop their cooperative and then be paid through the fund. We've worked to try to make this accessible as we can. So just like requiring that people have at least advisory meetings for 3 months or more to be able to access this fund. I will note that this year, for this budget year, so 2026, we had about 25,000 in the budget. And this year, by now, we probably regranted more than half, like over 20,000 to the cooperatives that have just recently graduated from this last cohort. Just noting that the funding landscape has shifted so much for cooperatives, nonprofits, et cetera, during this work. And so, as I mentioned, this is budget dependent, but we do hope to continue supporting cooperatives past North Star to help move the process along. In addition to the Alumni Fund, we do have another program at Nexus, the Shared Ownership Center at Nexus, that has been really instrumental in also helping move the work further through their local fund, which is also coming to an end. But there's a upcoming coffee shop this summer from a North Star graduate who then worked with SOCAN. So there are exciting opportunities, and wanted to mention that.
All right, so alumni engagement. So in fall 2023, we did a North Star alumni survey, and that was probably the first kind of comprehensive alumni survey we conducted to just get acquainted with alumni, reconnected, and just learn how they were still engaging with the cooperative work that they had maybe done during the fellowship or where they're at now. So this summer and into the fall, as we're approaching our 10 years, we are doing focus groups and a survey as well for our strategic planning work and potential advisory committee work as we move through Cohort 10. So we are conducting that currently with current alumni and speakers and other groups and stakeholders connected to North Star. So that's a project that's underway, and we are also still refining and figuring out how best to continue to serve alumni as they move through and graduate, how we can continue to support. And then we also have community events, like sometimes we will be able to table at events, or if alumni have something, we're happy to share and spread the word with the alumni, as well as alumni gatherings. So we have tried in the past and want to continue kind of doing like a 6-month post fellowship check-in with cohorts that have graduated, just to see where they're at, have a space of support and connection, and just to continue being alongside them in their cooperative journey.
I'll just note that like if you all decide to apply for the fellowship and we are all part of the fellowship together, you will quickly learn that we love surveys and feedback, because that's the only way we know how to make the program better for the current cohort that we have. And we also love talking to you all to understand sort of like what you are dealing with, what you are working with, to better support you through the process. And then, so for this year, these are our session. Oh, no, that's not me. The fellowship expectations, excuse me. So fellows are expected to attend all North Star events when Saturday sessions and the Black Study sessions. Expected to cooperate with fellows on the respective cooperative final presentations and initiatives. So we estimate this to about an 85 to 100-hour commitment over 7 months. We'll have the schedule on in the next slide, but essentially we meet about once a month from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Some of them, most of them are virtual, but some might be hybrid. So virtual and in person for those in the Twin Cities, depending on scheduling and budgets and times and stuff. But but over 7 months is about an 85 to 100-hour commitment. And fellows are provided with a small stipend to support their participation in the fellowship. So we give a total of $1,000. 500 is dispersed at the beginning of the fellowship, and then 500 is dispersed at the end, as long as you've attended all the sessions. Or if you did miss them and just like let us know, then that's fine, as long as there's still like engagement with us in some process, you can expect to get that full amount.
Yep. And just to reiterate with what Nicole shared about the hour commitment, we're seeing that as an estimate of not only the sessions, but any time you spend outside of the fellowship working with your group. So that's kind of where we're coming from again with that, just so folks are aware. All right, so our North Star 2026-2027 sessions, these are dates. As Nicole mentioned, our early sessions in the fall will be hybrid. We'll have a joint kind of orientation in session one. And so, yeah, those first two sessions are hybrid. Then we'll shift to virtual beginning in November. And then in the spring, kind of dependent on budget and just kind of the situation, we will either be hybrid or virtual for those remaining sessions starting April 10th. Black Study sessions are always kind of virtual, so that'll stay the same. And then the presentations, again, hybrid tentative, graduation hybrid tentative as well, depending on budget. So, yes, these dates are also online on the application, so you'll be able to refer back and see what works with your schedule.
And finally, the application process. So applications are currently open until August 24th, 2026. We're looking for some folks that are really committed to Black economic cooperation, folks that are members of Black cooperative work or have an idea they would like to start or an idea they'd like to refine. North Star is welcome to folks of all racial backgrounds, but it has to be a Black-led effort. And for us, Black-led means that Black folks are the decision makers and the leaders in the effort. Groups of two or more, we're looking for folks that are groups of two or more that are committed to the same cooperative idea or initiative that they've already established or are trying to establish. All the members from one cooperative who wish to participate must submit an application, like an individual application. I mean, you can copy paste like the answers so that they're the same across, but we do need individual applications from all the groups that are participating in North Star. It's just so that we also have the information, et cetera, because there are other questions that we ask that are more individual. And then must be committed to attending all the North Star and Black study sessions and completing the fellowship. And then that's all. Now it's your turn. Do you all have questions for us?
Thank you for all the information. It's a lot to digest.
Yeah.
That's all I have right now, but it was very clear, what Nexus and, everything that you said was it was just clear. Right now I don't have any questions, but look forward to working with you guys in the near future. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And understand that it is a lot of information. This will be available as a recording if you all need to go back to it and just reacquaint yourself. But if not, I'll add our email in here and you could always reach out to us for more questions.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Jen. Thank you. When I saw that email, I was kind of quite excited because it's something, as you know, we have incorporated and we want to know more and about CPR, collaboration, and moving it separated forward. Thank you for the information. I know there are a lot of information to take in at one time. But my question is, are there limits for number of people to from one cooperative? Are there limits? How many people from one cooperative can participate in the program?
Yeah. I don't know if you've actually, um,
Okay.
I need to check the numbers. I know that I don't know how many, if there's a limit. I know we've had the biggest groups we've had up like are like maybe 5 people. We could probably accommodate like 3 to 4 cooperative members a group. Um, and I also will note that there are in the past we've had co-op groups that have brought the folks in different cohorts. So for example, last year, this past 2 years, we had one co-op group that had the first group come in the first year and then the second group come in the second year. But I think about we could probably accommodate about 3 or 4 people from one group.
Here we can ask, we have a large number of people. I will
Yeah.
share the information with them and see those that will be interested and have them apply. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, great information. This information was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they let us know. And also there are spaces where um let's say maybe just 3 or 4 people apply and maybe there are more people that are interested. Like I said, they could apply next year. And or we have these other spaces where they can come in and engage with the North Star curriculum, either through the Black Study sessions. We're hopefully gonna have like a book form of a curriculum so they can engage through that with a co-op member. So there's other ways for them to engage as well if they're not in North Star. Um,
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
um,
I, I do have a quick question, if I may. So if we're interested in applying as a collective and you have the ability to see up to 4 people, when during the application process, are we speaking more so on our individual contribution or the collective item that we're building, just for application
Yeah,
purposes?
for the application, it would be helpful to understand what is the collective project that you're all building. Now, if you're answering and you want to like add a paragraph or a sentence or something about like something that's personal that applies, that's fine. We just ask that there is some consistency in the cooperative work that is happening so that we understand that you're sort of like a cohesive group that's coming in together that has a shared idea or plan.
Awesome, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. I see also Liana, please step in. Let me know if there's anything else. But I see in the chat, this is very helpful. Do all decision makers have to be Black or can they include people from BIPOC identities? So we say that North Star is a Black centered space and we do center Black voices. And so the main makers do have to be Black. Now, if you have BIPOC identified folks in your group, that's fine. They can participate. Just we are probably going, not probably, we will be reaffirming that this is a Black-centered space. And sort of treating it as such for the duration of the
How did
cohort.
you guys do today?
Perfect.
Oh,
Then, sorry, I thought I muted. Sorry, I late. How many sessions per month? How many months? What time? Stop. So we kick off in October. We run from October through May of 2027. Um, I don't know if Liana, if you're able to reshare the thing. It's also on our website, which I will link here. I'm sorry, that was very abrupt, but we aim when we plan out our schedule, we aim to have 1 session a month. There are some months where we might have 2 sessions just because of the scheduling, but all of the sessions run from 10 a.m. Central to 2 p.m. Central Time. Um, we might be last year we did try out to have like extra time towards the end if people wanted to connect. It's not mandatory, but that could be an option. But yeah, all the sessions run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Time on Saturdays, and the schedule is currently on the screen. Our Black Study sessions that happen in December and in May, those run from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time on Wednesdays, and there's just 2 of them. And then graduation follows the same process in May at around 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Um, the sessions, some of them are hybrid virtual, most of them are virtual, some of them are hybrid. When they are hybrid, we will have a virtual option, and if we're sort of learning how to better maneuver that space, so we can be engaging both in person and virtual. But yeah, this is the schedule. I hope that is helpful. And I see that Liana also added the website, so thank you.
what is your process of elimination when you do apply? How do you eliminate folks that, to maybe reapply later? And, what is the criteria of your selections for to be a part of the fellowship,
Yeah.
besides being Black?
I will say, so I feel like last year we interviewed a lot of groups. I think we get very excited and very honored to read all of your applications. I think for most people they make it to the interview process because we also understand that you can only say so much on paper and you say a lot more when we're talking to you and learning more about your work. I think for people not to get to the interview process, it's either the group members didn't fill out their applications, and this is probably after multiple emails asking if they would fill out their applications. Or if an application is just like, I want to learn about co-ops, it's like, okay, cool. That's great. And what else? So making sure that I'm not saying like write like, thesis of everything, but just giving us a little context is helpful to help us make those decisions. Liana, is there anything else that you would add as well?
I think sometimes, just like if folks aren't eligible, if they're applying just by themselves, we've had that come through a lot. So, just again, if it's not a group of two or more, that would eliminate someone. But yeah, I would just echo like we do want to hear from folks. It really is just kind of a budget constraint, honestly, of just how many people we can accommodate, and also making sure that we can, make it a dynamic space and be able to really cater to the group. So it's hard to say like what the specific factors. It really is kind of like we're reviewing each application. If it's clear that folks have applied as a group, but people are on not the same page, that's likely it's just not enough. It's not in alignment right now, and maybe to just go back and refine the idea to see if they are, if that group is meant to continue working together. So, yeah, we really do try to take the time to really read every application and just consider kind of the circumstances and also like what will make a good like cohesive group too. So yeah, does that help answer that a bit better?
Tiny bit, but
Okay.
I just you look for groups. You prefer
Mhm.
groups applying, or
It's always
as
groups,
opposed to
yeah.
individual? Pardon me?
So it's always groups of two or more. So with North Star, we aren't accepting applications from just individuals interested in learning about Black cooperative economics. It's always groups of two or more people. In the past, that's been different, but currently in recent cohorts, that is what we are seeking. So if an individual could be committed to Black cooperative economic work, but if it's just them as an individual, they're not with somebody else. We really do want this to be a group of the cohort is different cooperative groups applying together. So that is a key part as well.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, no problem.
All right, we have about 3 minutes left just to make sure that we're honoring everyone's time. I'm going to make space for one more question, but I also do have our email here. And I know that Liana also edited the website where you can find out more information as well, which also has our contact. And there's a link to the application. But yeah, is there any a final question for us?
And the deadline for the application to be considered, what day is that, in October, you said? Or is
Uh,
it starts in October? When is the deadline for applications to be um, submitted, and is there a deadline?
yeah, so the applications have to come in by August 24th from all the group members that are applying at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. And then the fellowship, and then we'll have interviews through September and placements, and then we start the fellowship in October. But applications are due August 24th at 11:59 Central Time PM.
Thank you.
Amazing. Well, like I said, if you have more questions, we are available via email. This recording will be available for review as well. with the slides in there. We have the website where we have more information, and then the links for the application have been sent. We're so grateful that you got to spend this hour with us to learn more about North Star. We hope to see your applications, and we hope that we are in community with you this fall for our 10th cohort. And if you can't tell that I'm excited about cohort 10, I don't know how else to prove it, but very excited. This is like a momentous occasion for us to be in this 10-year space and really building out the Black cooperative ecosystem, and would be incredibly grateful to see all your faces there.
Thank you all so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
all.
much.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.